What's up, everybody? It's Dominic369 for Occultism Unleashed. We in the building on the live stream. We getting it in. Let a few people get in here, and we gonna go down through there because things are about to get real interesting. What's up, Bree? Adrian, Numbers, and you? How you doing, Lloyd? It is about to get interesting out here. Absolutely. Happy Venus Day. Happy Venus Day. Lady Contrarian on YouTube. Stoke Culture on YouTube. True Game Entertainment. Queen D. Chance Brown. What's happening on YouTube? It's about to get saucy out here. It's about to get saucy out here, Jack. DJ Holiday. What's happening? Zakiba. PM Designs. We in the building. Now, y'all know Pluto went retrograde yesterday. Pluto went retrograde. Mars moved into Aries. And in a few days, Mars is going to square Venus in the United States chart. Venus rules the 5th and 6th house in the United States chart. That's, the stock market, the military, the unions, civil servants like police and firefighters. Mars is the ruler of the 4th house in the United States chart. The 4th house rules the people at the bottom of the barrel, the oppressed people, the political party that's not in power. Chocolate Venice Shop, what's up? So there are going to be direct clashes with these groups. Direct clashes. And you can already see that the beginnings of this happening at the college campuses where, the police are shooting, students with rubber bullets, macing them directly in the face, police officers spitting on the Palestinian flags, police standing down while Jews and supporters of Israel attack the people who are sitting in peacefully at the college sit-ins. And this is about to get nasty. It's about to get real nasty. I'm telling you. I'm telling you now, man. I'm giving you the heads up now. It's about to get real nasty. And the oppressive nature of this situation is going to initiate things here in the United States that shake this country up, shake it up. I'm not even going to say it's my hope that it doesn't get shaken to his knees, because, from chaos comes order, from destruction comes peace, from death comes rebirth. And if you've been paying attention to the divinity sessions with the Divine Mother Monica Bay for Mystic Temple, and Mystic Temple's YouTube channel is Mystic Temple 1111. I highly recommend you go check out those divinity sessions, because a lot of changes is coming to the world, and they're coming fast. And there's going to be people who work to interfere with these changes, but their work will be in vain. Many of you have been following me for years. Many of you have been following me for years, over 5 years. And you have seen that everything I said would come to pass has came to pass. Pluto is retrograde in the United States, 2nd house of money. This is going to affect the economy dramatically. It's going to affect the economy dramatically. You are going to see, a downturn in the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. You already see the federal government indicting and investigating and locking up people that are pushing crypto. And now they're investigating Jack Dorsey, the former owner and creator of Twitter, about Bitcoin. It is a threat to their threshold of power. So any threats to their threshold of power, they are, attacking it. And they are attacking in vain, because you have BlackRock, and BlackRock has the value of over $10 trillion. And although their personal, the value of that company is over $10 trillion, they are an asset manager, and they manage $4.5 quadrillion in assets around the world. And BlackRock has a Bitcoin ETF and an Ethereum ETF, and they are going to be investing people's retirements and companies, extra money into these ETFs. Now, if you think for a minute that the government is going to, people who are in office in the government right now are going to be able to interfere with a $10 trillion company, when they can barely manage to control Facebook and Google, that are only multi-billion-dollar companies, you are mistaken. And so are they. Pluto in Aquarius. You're talking about people. First of all, retrograde, for those of you guys who don't know, a retrograde is about going back and evaluating, the energy assimilation of a planet that has moved into a new sign. Pluto has newly moved into Aquarius. Aquarius is the sign of humanitarianism. It's the sign of altruism. It's the sign of, universal well-being. By it going retrograde, this means it's commanding the masses, because Pluto is an outer planet. That means the action and behavior and energies of Pluto affect the entire human collective on the earth. So there's going to be a going back and evaluating and checking to see if people in power are really the humanitarians that they say they are, if they're really doing altruistic things and being fair and equal to all people. It's going to check on the innovations that technology has brought us, from cryptocurrency to artificial intelligence, to see how people have been assimilating that information into that energetic download from the universe into the subconscious. So when this occurs and people, governments, systems haven't been integrating this, energy the proper way, Pluto goes and destroys. It goes and destroys. Now, you guys know they get on my channel when I get to talking about, international events and things like that. Well, a little bit before Pluto retrograde in the United States, second house of money, the Congress and Senate passed a law. Joe Biden signed it to, steal the Russian assets that they have sanctioned and frozen, and give them to Ukraine to fight, buy weapons and attack Russia. Soon as this happened, the European Union went into panic. Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, and several other countries pulled their gold reserves out of the United States, in fear that the United States would have a problem with their political stuff, have a problem with their, sovereign decisions as a nation, and start stealing their assets. So they passed the law that effectively destroyed the trust in the U.S. banking system and commodity security system. So this is also going to further speed up the process of BRICS becoming a financial powerhouse in the world. A lot of things the United States is doing to maintain that control that they've had since they were founded with, Pluto and Capricorn. Past couple years, United States had its Pluto return. It was founded with Pluto and Capricorn. They were given a position of leadership and the ability to, bark out orders to the world for the collective greater good. And they allowed that position to turn them into tyrants and bullies. And when Pluto came back around, it snatched that position from them. It snatched that position from them. And you saw this with the chaos ensuing in January 6th and all these things. The United States has still refused to be a real leader. And real leadership takes fairness. It takes, the people that are in power in the nation to be fair, to be, able to make judgments and decisions that are based on the greater good for the collective humanity, and they have failed to do that. So their position of power is being taken from them, and the more they attempt to grab and hold on to their power, the more their power shall be undermined. I've chosen the word shall very intentionally because those of you who understand the law, the words must and shall are mandatory language. There's nothing that can be done to hinder this. The student protests are about humanitarianism. That's Aquarius energy, the universal well-being for the collective. And who does the United States support? They support the oppressor. They come in tyrannically with that Capricornian energy. We're the police. You're going to do what we say. We're going to beat you if you don't. We're going to discipline you. That Saturn, overbearing, fatherly energy that Pluto is no longer allowing this nation to have. It's no longer allowing the world to have that energy. So you are going to see the more they try to maintain their control and their stronghold on the hegemony of the world, the faster the United States collapses. Not just on the international sphere of influence, but right here in this nation. You need to understand something. These students that the police are shooting 12-gauge shotguns filled with salt pellets and rubber bullets at will be the next CEOs, the next leaders of political parties, the next speakers that whose thoughts influence the development of the world. As a black man in the United States, the world is finally getting to see what we live through all the time. They're finally getting, a taste of the African-American experience. An old white lady professor was standing by while she described the police as brutally plummeting a student. And she was 4 feet away. They ran up in her face and told her, "You're interfering. If you don't get get back, we're going to arrest you for obstruction." They ran her a fade, a professor at the college. And one thing the police aren't going to get away with is brutalizing old white women. You need to understand that. And they are going to, leverage they're going to leverage their clout, their social clout, to bring about some big changes. Women are outliving men. Women have more wealth and prosperity accumulated than men. There's more women CEOs, more college educated women. So you are going to see some dynamic changes in the political sphere and the donation sphere and things like that. And, yesterday, Joe Biden said the protests aren't going to change his stance on the Middle East. This morning, the head of the International Criminal Court, the ICC, that is investigating the Israeli government for genocide, made a public statement that there are governments trying to interfere with them issuing arrest warrants for the Israelis for genocide, for Netanyahu and other Israeli politicians for genocide. This right here, when things like that come from an international court, and I'll get into the aspects for that in a second, because Mars is in the United States 4th house. That means it's opposing the midheaven in the 10th house, which rules the court, the legislator, and the politicians. So you're going to see an opposition and strikes against them in multiple ways. In multiple ways, it's in the stars. And in the middle of the month, Mars will oppose Saturn in the 10th house. Saturn in the 10th house rules the president, and it rules the economy, because Saturn is the ruler of the United States' 2nd house of money, where Pluto is currently retrograde at. There's going to be some big economic shakeups in the United States, and this is the exact reason why I've been doing the money moon ritual next month. I've created the Venus talismans for prosperity. There's going to be some shakeups in the economy, big shakeups in the food supply, because the biggest pork manufacturer in America is owned by Brazil. What's the first letter in BRIC stand for? Brazil. And they're the 2nd largest beef manufacturer in the United States. Brazilian companies. Brazil's president has, spoken out against Israel and cut off their diplomatic ties. There's multiple nations in the world, specifically the global South and allies of Palestine, Russia, China, Iran, South Africa, that are, cutting off diplomatic ties with Israel, speaking out, filing, legal requests with the International Criminal Court. And once these things get undermined by the United States, it compromises the entire integrity of the International Court, which makes that collapse. It compromises the entire integrity of the United Nations Security Council and makes that collapse. All because the United States is abusing their power. Pluto is the planet of power. And you can either use Pluto's energy, whether it's a nation or you personally, you can either use Pluto's energy in your chart to empower the masses and transform them, or you can use it to be tyrannical, manipulative, and control them. And when you do that, Pluto is going to destroy you. That's the real. And the United States is using its power in a manipulative way to try to control outcomes and further their agenda, and Pluto is going to punish them for that. You are going to see that punishment in this retrograde, which will last until October. You are going to see economic strife in the United States. There are already, countries that are fighting a world war against the United States and the hegemony that the United States have with their natural resources. Niger has kicked the United States out of their country. While their soldiers are at the military base, Russian soldiers are also at that military base, just in case the United States refuse to leave. We are already in World War III. It's just happening sporadically right now. Over here, over here, over here, over here. Please understand that. Please understand that. And soon it's going to be all the way on the floor where they can't disguise it. 2 countries in Europe have stated that they would be arming Ukraine and that they could use their weapons to attack, Crimean Bridge and the Russian mainland. And Putin's plain and simple response is, if they attack Russia with the long-range weapons that you have given them, we are going to respond with a nuclear strike. We are going to bomb your country. Not Ukraine, we're going to bomb you. Putin has said it several times, that when U.S. weapons and stuff like that start hitting Russian territory, Russia's weapons will start hitting the United States, Britain, German territories. It's going to get real out here. You guys seen, in the middle of last month, April, Iran said they were going to strike Israel for attacking their consulate in Syria. And 10 countries tried to stop them from striking Israel. 10 countries. And they couldn't. And despite all the propaganda that came out about 99% of the missiles being intercepted, they can't hide the truth from the internet. People have these type of devices, smartphones. They record it. Several missiles hitting the Israeli bases. Several drones impacting. And then they tried to say Israel retaliated. They sent some little ass $40 drones that got shot down by Iran's missile defense system. And Iran put it on the floor to the UN. The satellite images show none of Iran's stuff was damaged. They made a mockery out of them. Yemen, the Yemenis have shut down the Red Sea. Commerce in the Red Sea is down, and the ships going through the Suez Canal are down almost 70%, 67% to be exact. That's hundreds of billions of dollars. And this morning, their military spokesman said if the Israelis invade Rafah or attack Rafah, that they're going to shut down the Mediterranean Ocean. So they're not only just going to shut down the Persian Gulf, the Indian Ocean, it's going to be the Mediterranean Sea. And anybody who try to go to the, occupied Palestine to help the Israelis, they getting bombed onto. And the United States has not been forthcoming with its citizens about how the Yemenis are dogging them. You see, the Germans ran out of the Red Sea, the French, the Dutch, they've all left. They've left for a reason. Because them Yemenis are getting in that ass. The Yemenis are getting busy, and they haven't even exposed all of their weapons. Today, the United States announced that they would be removing all their military equipment from UAE. That's where Dubai is at, United Arab Emirates, because the UAE don't want to get hit by Iran. So they told them, Iran told them, anything come to our country from the United States that flew off your bases, we lighten you up. We lighten you up. We lighten you up. So the United States is moving all their stuff to Qatar. There's a new global dynamic. Big Vlad, President Putin, he has, reached out to the Yemenis yesterday for them to sign a memorandum of understanding. Putin said it out his mouth. The Yemenis have proven to be an unstoppable force in the Red Sea. An unstoppable force in the Red Sea. We need to be their strategic partner. The United States is talking about putting nuclear bombs in Poland. So you can expect Russia to put nuclear bombs in Venezuela and Cuba. This is about to be a very complex dance that goes on over the next 6 months. A very complex dance. And while, they have, the news infatuated with, the Palestinian genocide and Hamas, Hezbollah in Lebanon is stomping on Israel every day. Every day. Every day since October 7th, they've been tearing them off. And when the United States, when it first jumped off in October, United States pulled their aircraft carriers into the Mediterranean, and the head of Hezbollah in Nasrallah posted a video showing them anti-ship missiles. I don't care about your aircraft carrier. I don't care about you. I will sink your shit. And the Israeli news is even saying that Hezbollah has not even used a third of their power. Not even a third. Iran tore them off with old missiles. They didn't even use their hypersonic missiles. And Hezbollah, the Yemenis, they all have homegrown missiles, Iran, that don't use GPS, so the electronic warfare and shit can't jam their missiles, can't, interfere with their navigation. It's gonna get real. It's gonna get real. The United States Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, went over to China talking about we spoke to them from a position of power. And, China just told them, get fucked. You're not going to stop us from dealing with Russia. You're not going to stop us from selling or doing business with Russia or Iran. Get fucked. Oh, we're going to put more sanctions on them. Then they threatened Pakistan with sanctions. If you build that oil pipeline from Iran to Pakistan, we're going to put sanctions on you. The United States had them lock up Emir Khan, the president of the former prime minister of Pakistan. Now they got some people in there who really don't care about them, don't care about their agenda either, because Pakistan got nukes. And, people think Iran don't got them, but common sense would tell you that if Iran still attacked the Zionist occupation in Israel, even though the U.S., Joe Biden got on the news and said, I got one word for you, don't. They still popped off on them. Even against the nuclear-armed French, the nuclear-armed United States, the nuclear-armed Israel, they still popped off and still lit their ass up. Hit their most important Air Force base and spy base. You don't do that when you don't got the same type of firepower to match somebody. You understand me? Or something greater. Ayatollah Khomeini has announced several times that they aren't a nuclear nation, but they have weapons that this world has not seen yet. And the way their missiles performed against the Patriot missiles and other defense systems, the Iron Dome, Iron Sword, I'm very inclined to believe that. Iran has some of the most brilliant engineers and scientists, mathematicians on the planet. I am inclined to believe they have some things that can trump nuclear missiles. I'm very inclined to believe that. Far as the United States, when you're looking at the United States chart, Mars again is in the 4th house, is getting ready to square Venus. Then Jupiter rules the United States 1st house, which is the face of the nation. The United States has Sagittarius rising. It's going to be some bad blows to the United States reputation, bad blows to their image in the international community, because Sagittarius is the sign that governs the international community. It's also the sign that rules justice and law. So there's going to be some very bad hits to the United States, very bad hits. And at the end of the month, Mars will square Pluto in the United States 2nd house of money. This is when it's going to get bad economically. It's when it's going to get bad. Again, on the geopolitical stage, I'm sure, most of you guys have seen, 1 or 2 gangster movies in your life where, a guy goes and spends 20 years in prison and comes back to the neighborhood thinking he's a big shot and running shit. And people respect him because, you the OG. But then when you get out of pocket, they hit you, slap you down to your knees. That's the situation with the United States. That's the reality of the situation in the United States. People in the global community respect the United States because they're an OG on the international playing field. But it's a lot of new players in town that are real power players. Not just Russia and China, Iran and North Korea, Yemen. These are real power players. When the people in Niger kicked the French out and then kicked the U.S. out, brought the Russians to the same base where the U.S. still has soldiers and weapons and stuff like that, cut off their uranium, supplies, sold uranium to Iran. This is letting them know we a power player. Mali and the other Sahel states, kicking out the French. Chad kicked the United States out their U.S. out their military base. Get up out our country. What I'm telling you is it's going to be Africa, Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, Yemen, Lebanon, and Palestine. And not Argentina, but Venezuela, Cuba, Bolivia against the US and NATO. And the United States is going to lose. Europe is going to lose. There are US soldiers who were fighting in Ukraine as mercenaries who said that the United States is not ready for a war against the real army. They're used to fighting insurgents and weak militant groups that have no air defenses and things like that. And that in a real war, they would get demolished. Even though, Russia is fighting in Ukraine has Germans, Polish, US military advisors, French soldiers fighting as mercenaries over there. When you fight as mercenaries, that's like hired guns, but they're actually part, of those government militaries, still active members registered in the military. And they're over there and they're getting smoked. Over there getting smoked and getting ran some heavy fades. Man. And they're trying to tell their countries this ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. But there are people who think that their power is absolute, and the only power that is absolute in this world is the divine power. And the divine powers that be do not favor them. And that's going to bring about the change that is necessary for this world. From this summer to 2027, it's going to be a bumpy ride. I will be active in Mystic Temple, helping people, find the proper way to their spiritual power and the greatest version of yourself. I will be active in Mystic Temple. So that means I will not be as active on here or providing as many services as I usually do. But that's for the greater good. That is for the greater good. If you haven't been to my website, redclawconjure.com, make sure you go. It's a free astrology membership there. You can, get your chart done every day, your aspects every day. Numerology forecasts, other stuff like that. All for free. There's paid versions too, but everybody can get on the free version, and you won't have to wait for me to give you an update and things like that. You'll be able to look for yourself. But it's time. It's time for you to tap into your spirituality, recognize you're powerful and not powerless, because Pluto retrograde in Aquarius is also telling you to look at your divine nature. Aquarius is a sign that rules astrology. It rules extrasensory perception, psychic ability, and things like that. It's time for you to evaluate if you have been allowing yourself to believe that you are powerless in this world. And you are not. You're not powerless. I'm here to tell you that. Hopefully I've demonstrated through actions and lessons that I've made available that, you're not powerless, that you don't have to live in fear. You have the ability to manifest the reality that you desire, no matter what type of chaos is going on around you. It's my sincere hope that I've been able to, translate that message to you guys and make you aware of your power, make you want to tap in, make you want to experiment with, magic. What is magic? Magic is manifestation through the scientific manipulation of energy. Scientific means you have a set of procedures that you go through, and in science, that would be called the scientific method. In magic or spirituality, that would be called a ritual. A lot of people don't realize you do rituals every day, especially if you got a job and you put on a certain uniform. You change the way you speak. You change the way you behave in order to manifest that check every 2 weeks. You go through a ritual. And there is nothing spooky about that. So why wouldn't you be capable of going through a ritual that focuses on projecting your energy to manifest the outcome that you desire? Pluto is about awakening your awareness to power. It's about awakening your awareness to power, transforming from powerless to powerful. It's in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius rules astrology. It rules technology. If you have been oppressed by the financial system of banking, loans, and credit, the new financial system with Pluto in Aquarius, because Pluto also rules hidden treasure and hidden wealth. Aquarius is the sign that rules cryptocurrency. This is your way out. Most people spend $8 a day on Starbucks, $20 on Burger King or McDonald's, rallies, whatever. you could take that same money and buy a piece of Bitcoin, a little bit of piece of Bitcoin every day, especially in these next 6 months when the prices go down. Because it's going to go down with Pluto in retrograde. I spoke about that in the beginning of the live, that there are attacks on cryptocurrency, people who support Bitcoin and things like that being arrested, incarcerated, investigated. Even the CEO, former CEO and creator of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, is under federal investigation. But like I said, BlackRock, a $10.5 trillion company that manages $4.5 quadrillion in assets for people around the world, has a Bitcoin ETF and an Ethereum ETF. And if you think a government that's $34 trillion in debt is going to interfere with a company managing $4.5 quadrillion, that is $4.5 thousand trillion dollars. They could pay the US debt 400 times and still have money left to play with. If you think some 2-bit politicians taking money from banks are going to interfere with Bitcoin, Ethereum, you're out of your mind. They money ain't long enough. They money ain't long enough. And I'm going to tell you how serious it is. It's so serious that the CEO of BlackRock, Larry Fink, has spent $50 million increasing his personal security and security around his house, because people are trying to get him smoked for going behind Bitcoin like that. It's serious out here. It's serious out here, man. You had an opportunity. You had the opportunity to leverage and get a piece of a Bitcoin. You don't got to have $50,000 in Bitcoin. You can buy $10 at a time. And in November, when Pluto is direct, and Saturn, the planet that rules the United States' second house of money, is in Aries, a sign of a new beginning for the financial situation in this country. You are going to see impressive gains. You are going to see impressive gains that'll change your life for real. That will change your life for real, Jack. Is beautiful things that's going to come out of this chaos. Beautiful things. And you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to create the life that you desire in the midst of this chaos. What are you going to do with it? Because you can't change none of the stuff that's going on around the world. Not a protest is going to change it. Not a vote is going to change it. The only thing you can change are the things that are going to affect you personally. How can you better leverage your time? What skills can you develop? Because, with Pluto retrograde in Aquarius and Mars in Aries, that's going to make a sextile to Pluto retrograde. It's making a sextile right now. It's going to be sextile for the next week. You're going to see some major cyber attacks. You see some major cyber attacks, and these cyber attacks are affecting infrastructure and supply chain and things like that. Now is the time where you should be on Udemy paying $19 or $20, $40 or $50, even if it's $100 for a cybersecurity course and certification. Now is the time where you should get it, because these are the jobs that are going to be in demand. Pluto in Aquarius is telling you to reevaluate how you're taking advantage of artificial intelligence to empower yourself financially, because Pluto is in the second house of money in the United States. Does this make sense to anybody? Or am I just rambling? Am I making sense to you, or am I just rambling? Because you had an opportunity to really change and transform your life, but you have to be the one who makes the decision that you are going to leverage these opportunities, that you're not going to get distracted by rap beefs with, media crap, with conspiracy theories. You have to make the decision that you are going to take full responsibility for your human experience and equip yourself with the tools and things that empower your life. Yep, Udemy. Yep. Udemy got buku cybersecurity programs, coding programs, Amazon web server, Google Cloud. You guys be smoking me over like this dude know everything and got his hands in everything. That's because I make it a point to know. I'm a Sag, man. I'm a Sag with Jupiter and Saturn conjunct in my 9th house of higher education and learning. Pluto is also in my 9th house in Libra. That means, Saturn being in my 9th house, it means I'm a person whose part of my purpose is to learn and to teach. Saturn rules my rising sign. Jupiter rules my sun sign. It's my purpose to learn and teach. I firmly believe I went to prison for a reason, man. Not just because I killed somebody, it's for a reason. To show people that it doesn't matter what you've been through in your life. You're not powerless. You can make a decision to create the life that you want and do that. But you have to prioritize things that are going to get you to where the place you want to be. In knowledge, the right knowledge is power. The right knowledge is power. They put a lot of bullshit knowledge out here, man, to intentionally distract you. When you look at your phone and see how long you spend on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook, focused on things that aren't going to change your value as a human being or your financial situation, and then you turn around, specifically my people, and blame Whitey for why you're fucked up out here. The white man doesn't have that much power over you where they can regulate what you're doing on your fucking phone, Jack. They don't. You're the one who controls how you spend your time on your phone, on your tablet, on your laptop. Pluto Retrograde is asking you to evaluate how you are using technology. Are you using it to, manipulate yourself into, believing that you're powerless, that, you can't change your situation? Or are you using technology to empower yourself and speak power into the masses? What are you doing with this technology? How are you leveraging it? What are you doing to contribute to the greater good for the human collective? Are you living your purpose, or are you living in an illusion? Distracted by things and people who are, the epitome of insignificance. You're over 30 years old, past your first Saturn return, and still talking about rap battles. Diss records. What celebrity is going with who? Who cheated on who? The only person that's cheating is you. You're cheating yourself. And you're cheating the people who you have made soul contracts with before you entered this human body to help them achieve a higher level of vibration for their soul. You have to get with the bigger picture. You have to understand what's really going on. A lot of people talking about, escaping the matrix. How are you going to escape the matrix if you're caught up on Hollywood, hip hop, the things that make the matrix what it is, entertainment? The United States has Pisces intercepted in the third house. Pisces intercepted in the third house, and the ruler of Pisces, Neptune, intercepted in Virgo in the ninth house. This right here tells you that they use spiritual means, because Pisces rules spirituality. It rules film. It rules music. They use these means to entrap your mind. An intercepted sign is a sign that is entrapped within a house between two other signs. And Pisces being intercepted in the third house, which rules the mind of the masses in the nation's chart, the education, it says that they use these things to control your mind, to put you in the matrix. And because the ruler is also intercepted in the ninth house, that means the deception is crafted by higher institutions of learning. From the top of the food chain, they are designing ways to distract you and keep you in the matrix and police your mind, manipulate your mind. You guys, some of you guys follow me on Full-Time Pressure too. I own a marketing agency. What is propaganda? Propaganda is marketing that controls the minds and public opinion of the masses. I tell you straight up, marketing is what makes everything sell. But you have a business and you don't invest in marketing. Marketing sells everything, even public opinion. But our people, especially, don't want to invest in marketing. Don't even want to learn about marketing. They think they're just going to post their product or their service and people are supposed to support it. Well, newsflash, your alcoholic friend who loves clubbing and popping perks isn't interested in your health benefits. You understand that? Not interested in your yoga class, your CMOS, your meditation circle. Your people who don't own houses, they can't help support your contracting business, but you're living in a matrix. You see a $1 billion company just posting and stuff like this, and you think that is going to allow you to thrive, and it doesn't work that way. You're in the matrix. You're in the matrix. You're living within the illusions and deception created by that Pisces intercept in the United States third house. You have to break free, man. You have to break free. You have to break free. We are at a place with Uranus, Uranus being in Taurus. This is the same place it was, 284 years ago with the French Revolution and the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution brought a lot of inventions and technological innovations that, made physical labor less in a shorter demand and things like that. And this is happening again with artificial intelligence. And this doesn't mean that AI is going to take everybody's job and things like that, because if you are a carpenter, electrician, plumber, things that people, now regardless of corporations being classified as people in the courts and things like that, people, human beings, will always need food. They will always need shelter. They will always need medicine, healthcare. If you make a decision to be in one of these areas, you will always have money. Agriculture, growing food, farming, which I know a lot of black people got, stigmatisms towards because of slavery. I will tell you this: the only group that the United States government gives more money to than farmers is the military. Agriculture is big business, man. Big business. Shout out Leo Rising. Shout out Leo Rising, bro. Happy Venus Day to you too, man. But agriculture is big business, man. Very big business. Because everybody has to eat. Everybody has to eat. Now, when it comes to agriculture, they tell our, it's 2024. If you wasn't in the cannabis industry before 2015, you ain't got no win. In the hemp industry, you ain't got no win. Not on the CBD. The best thing you can do with hempcrete, ethanol, because every gas company in the United States, every manufacturer of gasoline, every oil refinery must blend their gas with up to 20% ethanol, or they can't sell it. But we're trying to grow hemp for CBD because that's the fad. That's the end thing. We're lost in the sauce. And you will always be lost in the sauce following the crowd. You have to set out your individual journey in these industries based on the needs of the consumer. Aquarius is a sign that governs individuality and things like that. So if you want to maximize this Pluto and Aquarius energy, you have to, get innovative. Think outside the box. How can you use technology? What can you do for the collective? Social welfare. And when I say welfare, I don't mean handouts. I mean well-being of the community as a whole. What can you invent that will improve the quality of life for the masses? These are the things that are going to take your bank account to the next level, Jack. The next level is my sincere hope that everybody goes and gives a follow to Mystic Temple 1111 on YouTube. Give them a follow. Watch those divinity sessions that the Divine Mother Monica Bay is dropping. She giving some very powerful blessings at the end of those divinity sessions. Go catch your blessings. Go get your spirit activated. Go get your spirit activated, man. I need to get up off of here and run some errands. I love y'all. I hope this was helpful to you. For those of y'all on Instagram, it's only 2 of those prosperity talismans left, but about 100 spots available in total for the Money Moon ritual. If you're on Instagram, comment or DM me the words Money Moon, and it'll be automatically send you a link to grab the talisman or your ticket to the ritual. If you're on YouTube, comment Money Moon, and I'll post the link in the comments and get that to you, man. We can jump up out of here and get it popping, man. I love y'all. Be smooth, and make sure you're following Mystic Temple and at Mystic University, because your ability to tap into your spiritual power and your awareness of that power will dramatically change your life and the lives of the people that you care about, regardless of the chaos that's about to ensue in this world. And that is my promise to you. That is my promise to you. My promise on my soul.